Good. All right. In just a moment, we will have Mr. Leonard Waxdeck out here, and the finalists, I guess the winners of the 22nd annual bird calling contest. Stay where you are. We'll be right back. Thank you, Doc. Okay. You just joined us. Roger Moore will join us in a little while. I was sitting in my office the other day, and I looked up at the board, you know, for the week ahead, and I saw Piedmont Birdcallers. And I called my secretary, Drew, and I said, I think we got a mistake here. We did that about 4 months ago. And she says, no, it's been a year. If you can believe it's been a year. That's how fast the time goes. Anyway, in Piedmont High School in Piedmont, California, for 22 years, they've been holding this contest. And this is the 9th year they've been on The Tonight Show. So would you welcome, please, Leonard Waxdeck, Piedmont High School. Does it seem like it's been a year to you? We could not believe it.
No, I share your feeling. I was saying the same thing to people in back there. I said, it doesn't seem like a year. It's more like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, we really look forward to this. Wasn't Piedmont High School, in the first part of this year, voted one of the outstanding or one of the best 10 high schools in the nation?
Yes, we received that recognition in January, and as a consequence, we are being considered for an additional honor, and that is one of the 10 best high schools in the United States.
In the whole United States?
Yes.
Well, congratulations. That is great.
Well, thank you very much.
Nice. Thank you. I think since the inception of the bird calling contest, one of the problems you face every year, and it's getting worse every year, I guess, is the number of people who want to come and see it, the number of people you can accommodate.
Well,
what was the problem like this year?
Well, I would just like to say that was never a problem until we decided to visit with you. And then it has become a problem and compounded. It was worse this year than ever. We seat 550 people in our theater, and I had a waiting list of about 650 people. We had all sorts of problems, and people tried to buy tickets, and of course it's by invitation only. They tried to bribe their way in, use whatever means they could to get some tickets, and I think as a result of that, have some new enemies, people who don't particularly like me for not being able to go to our show.
But you held out and that was it, I know.
Well, I certainly tried my best.
No money has changed hands.
Of course not.
I know that. So I saw this poster. Now this is really becoming, I mean, major studios don't have posters this nice as this. Bird calling contest, look at that. Very nice. You put these all over town?
Yes. Concern in St. Louis donated 1,000 to us, and we give them to the people that attend and to the students.
That's great. For those who have not seen this segment before, why don't you briefly explain first, and then we'll do a commercial and then bring the young people out and they'll do their specialty. It's an open audition, and then what happens?
Yes, well, it seemed that each year, for example, this year, the students began to apply for the right to join us in our program in September.
Right.
And we had, maybe about 125, 130 students, so they began doing their research, working in our ornithological library, and they began working with their coaches. We have 2 coaches, and many of the students hired their own. So they got quite serious, and then by about January, we began our elimination, and generally we eliminated at the rate of about 20% from 125 to 180, 60. And then reached our final eliminations about 2 months ago, and this year we had about 40 participants in the contest.
So we have tonight about how many people?
Yes, we have 7 callers, 7 calls, 1 duet. And some of the winners are represented here.
Okie doke. We'll be back after this, and you'll see what we're talking about. Here we go. Okay, thank you, Doc. We are back. Now, if you just joined us, if you just tuned in, you're about to see some young people from Piedmont High School, and you will see that they have spent a lot of time. These are very professional. Are we all set? You want to introduce them, Leonard?
Yes. Our first contestant is a senior. She is a pom-pom girl, a member of the Honor Society Alpha Clan. She plans to matriculate at Southern Methodist University in the fall of 1985. May I present Diane Walker.
All right, Diane.
Good evening, ladies Ladies and gentlemen, I may look like an ordinary student here to do a bird call. My reasons for being here, however, are a little more serious. I have decided that my chosen career path will be that of an entrepreneur in the selling of canary franchises. This career is truly for the birds, and if successful, will certainly feather my nest. In the fast-paced world around us today, it is not unusual that we take some of our well-known treasures for granted. And the Serenus canaria, or more commonly the canary, is feeling, well, a little left out. Best of all, the canary is quite a bargain, and upkeep is minimal. This untold bundle of pleasure can be yours for a small initial cost and simple loving care. Ladies and gentlemen, the canary. Thank you.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. Okay.
Our next contestant is a senior. He's a member of the rugby team and active in student government. He plans to pursue a career in computer science at the University of California, San Diego. May I present Mr. Henry Schwartz.
Henry?
Ladies and gentlemen, the call I'm about to do for you is known to experienced bird callers worldwide as the most difficult sound to produce due to its distinctive double whistle and clear tone. It is the call of Agellius phoenicius, the red-winged blackbird. The male, large and aggressive with crimson-tipped wings, can be seen and heard all across North America. The female makes her nest in secluded marshy areas and lays 3 to 5 small blue eggs each spring. Ladies and gentlemen, the red-winged blackbird. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Okay.
Our next contestants are a duet. The brunette is a pom-pom girl and very active in tennis and track. She plans to attend the University of the Pacific. The blonde is captain of the tennis team and also a pom-pom girl, and she plans to matriculate at the University of California, Berkeley. I would like to present Kara Burton and Abigail Scott.
All right, ladies.
Good evening. Last Saturday night, Abby and I spent a typical tedious and dateless evening at home doing nothing.
We waited
And waited.
and waited for Mr. Wonderful.
Or anyone to call.
boy, were we bored. Suddenly, we heard a loud piercing noise.
We dashed outside.
And there he was, a Nua Americanus.
Standing with so much pride.
Gorgeous.
Oh, gorgeous. I admired his protruding long nose and rather thin legs.
He was only 5 feet tall, with a windpipe of 4 feet.
But we didn't care. He then took one look at us
And let out a piercing shrill that could be heard from miles away.
Abby and I looked at each other with delight.
We knew this was our big chance.
And this is what we said that night.
To our friend, the whooping crane.
Thank you.
Very authentic. Very authentic. How would you like to go on a double date with those girls? Okay, who's next?
Our next contestant is a member of the California Scholarship Federation. She appeared in Academic Who's Who. She's also a dancer. She plans to matriculate at the University of California in Berkeley. I would like to present Christine Penwell.
Christine?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I have the distinct honor of being the first second-generation participant in the Leonard J. Waxdeck bird calling contest. 22 years ago, my uncle participated in the first LJWBCC and found it to be such an exhilarating experience that from the time I was barely out of my cradle, he began coaching me for the day when I, too, would make my stage debut in this auspicious competition. For years, we went on weekly bird watching expeditions, always searching for just the perfect bird to imitate for this authentic occasion. We'd looked high and low for beautiful birds, but it was the one bird I settled my speech upon, Mimus polyglottus, the beautiful little mockingbird. His sound was beautiful, and he would go phrase by phrase. I would now like to present for you the beautiful song of Mimus polyglottus, the musical little mockingbird. Thank you.
Everybody's going. Okay.
Our next contestant is a senior. She was our homecoming queen. She performed with the School of Ballet in San Francisco and the School of American Ballet in New York. She plans to enter Wellesley in the fall of this year. I would like to present Patrice Footer.
Patrice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to ignore, one can hardly ignore the wide array of birds that flock to Piedmont this time of year. In fact, over the past 22 years, it seems the birds have made a special point of dropping into everyone's backyard, or at least on their car. But what I'm here to tell you about today is a special friend of mine. I first met him at a party last year when I was standing by myself on the veranda. He came up to me and introduced himself as Botaurus lentiginosus, but as the night grew on, that changed to the American bittern. He's a large, brown, stocky fellow and often stood rigid, pointing his elegant bill skyward. This accentuated the gorgeous black stripe on the side of his neck. His habits are of the cosmopolitan sort. In the summer, he enjoys the warm weather of Canada and the Gulf states, but in the winter, he enjoys the warm weather of Panama. At least I think it's the warm weather. In any case, though now he's flown to distant lands, I'll still remember that wonderful starry night when we stood together on the veranda and he said these words to me. Thank you.
Okay.
Our last contestant, and this was quite an upset. All of the participants have been seniors. This is a rookie caller, came out for the first year. He's only a sophomore. He's a basketball player, track player, interested in pursuing a career in mathematics. He is the winner of our 22nd.
He's a rookie?
Yes, he's a rookie.
Do you have a farm team for minor bird callers or something? And they work up to the majors here?
Well, sort of. But in any event, he's the winner of our contest, and I would like to present for your consideration Mr. Chan.
My 16th birthday, I wanted something really special. On that day, I went to my father and said, "Dad?" And he said, "Yes, son." And I said, "For my birthday, could I see the Paraloxia?" "Oh, you'd like to see the bird. What's its scientific name?" "Son." "The Paraloxia sinuata." "Dad?" Well, anyway, a week later, I found myself in a remote region of Mexico in search of the Paraloxia. I was walking through a grove of trees when suddenly, something hit me. I looked up. It was a bird. Could it be the Paraloxia? No, it couldn't be, because the Paraloxia looked so much like its relative, the cardinal. I had to take another look. There are the familiar markings. I could see that was a male of the species, for it was gray above except for its red crest. Yes, it was the Paraloxia. And to match the bird's beauty, it also has an exquisite call, which sounds remarkably like this. Thank you.
Remarkably like that. Now, I tell you what. Before we bring them all out, I've said this before, but you always bring such, if these youngsters are any a representative of Piedmont High School, it's easy to see why that's a fine school. You always bring such a great group, and they really work at this. It's so obvious. Now, what we have done every year, we ask all the contestants to come out. So would they all come out on stage for a second? Okay, now, what we will do, on the count of 3, we'll each have them do their specialty, and it is a sound that is mind-boggling. All right? Are you all ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you, young people. And thank you, Leonard, again.
Thank you for having me back.
We'll be back in a moment. Thank you. Thanks,